My name is Austin Marks, welcome to my YouTube channel. So on my YouTube channel I mainly talk about respiratory therapy, however I do have a few other random videos, so if you want to check out my channel and you like what you see, make sure you subscribe. So in today's video I'm talking about how I work 2 jobs as a respiratory therapist. So I started working my second job when I was, right as COVID started ramping up, I would say. So I got it right about last April is when I applied. I started probably mid-April. Now why did I apply for a second job? As a respiratory therapist, I feel like I make enough. However, I wanted to really help out with COVID and just make some extra money for some different things. So that's why I got a second job as a respiratory therapist. Now, not everyone does work a second job or needs to work a second job. However, I just thought, hey, what the heck, I want to help out more. I also got tons of experience from doing this. I liked where I worked. I really enjoyed it. It was just a great opportunity and I'm glad I did it. So if you work a second job as a respiratory therapist, you're most likely working something known as PRN, which kind of lets you pick and choose when you want to work. So I worked that around my full-time schedule. So they had special requirements. I believe I had to work 16 hours a weekend time every 6 weeks. I had to do 24 hours total. So therefore those requirements weren't much at all, so those were very easy to go ahead and do. Now if you do work a full-time job and you're already doing every other weekend and you got through another weekend in there, that kind of gets annoying. However, it is what it is. If you want to work a second job, you just gotta put up with the consequences. So I do have another video talking about my PRN and why I chose what hospital I worked at for PRN. So I had a couple different options and I just basically picked the option that suited me the most, the one that was going to pay me the most, had the least requirements, just so I could go ahead and start working. Plus I was working with a friend, so that was a great experience as well. So this other hospital I started working at was with a different healthcare company. So I worked for one company and this was a different company. So a lot of things were different, the protocols were different, the things that respiratory therapists could do were different. They had a lot of different equipment. So like I said, I did this about a year after being an RT, learning how one hospital does one thing over the next. Especially going through COVID with this, because it was kind of crazy how one hospital would have a certain protocol while the other hospital was like, no, we're not doing that. Or the one time we'd gown up to go into the patient's rooms and we'd ungown inside the room, the one hospital, and the other hospital we'd actually come outside the room and ungown. It was kind of bizarre. We kind of threw ideas at each other, or I brought one idea from one hospital to the next, that way we kind of compare, that way I could tell my boss, hey, well this hospital is doing this and I really like this is a good idea. So I thought that was really neat, because not everyone can do that if you're only working in one hospital for one healthcare system. All you got is that. I got to work with tons of new people, tons of nurses, respiratory therapists, doctors, PAs, whatever. I just got to meet a whole lot of new people, just kind of get my name out there, talk to them, see why they're doing what they're doing and all that. And I thought that was pretty neat as well. I can honestly say that I'm glad that I worked 2 jobs. Sometimes it was a lot, yes. And like I said, I told you those requirements earlier, I didn't always have to just do the minimum requirement. So if I wanted to work 92 hours a week, I could. I believe that was the most I've ever worked. That was a lot. It was a terrible week. I don't want to talk about it. Well, anyway, there were other weeks that I didn't work there at all. So, I mean, that was a nice thing about working PRN, is I kind of got the freedom to pick and choose when I wanted to work. However, like I said, I did have to work that around my full-time schedule because I couldn't change my full-time schedule to work my PRN schedule. And not every day that I wanted to work was available, so there were some days where I wanted to work, but I couldn't, just because they were already pretty well staffed, and that's just how it goes. Well, like I said, I do have another video talking about PRN, me working PRN. That goes a little bit more in detail. However, if you have any questions and you want me to answer them directly, you can either message me on Instagram, you can leave a question in the comment, I'll make sure to get back to you. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video and I'll see you in the next one.